Hey guys, with spring getting here, I mentioned before I love the lipless crankbait in a red. I like anything red when I'm getting early in the spring, and I really don't know why. But the red always seems to work. So today, we're going to do a 2.5 square bill. We're going to do it in a Red Craw, but we're going to add a little something extra to it. Stick with me. Alright, first things first, let's get on that Createx opaque white base coat. We want to get on. We always want that base coat on, so when we start later, the rest of the colors will all look the way they're supposed to look. As always, just get a good general overall coating. Alright, we'll dry that real quick and we'll move on. We are going to do a wrap on this craw. We're going to do the craw in a red, but we're going to do a wrap, so we need a base coat to go, or an undercoat to go underneath it. And for this one we're going to use Createx Pearlized Lime. So we're going to put a lime undercoat on. And so we'll just give it a good coat of lime all over the place. That should just pretty much take care of the paint. Alright, now because we're going to put a wrap, we're going to get this really good and dry. So we'll get the heat gun on it, we'll get it dry, and then we'll be ready to put our wrap on. Alright, there we go. We have our pearlized lime, and I've got it good and dry. Now we're going to go with the wrap, and we're going to go with a little bit bigger holes. It's the coarser, bigger stuff. There it is, the roll I got. I said again, the floral department of Hobby Lobby is where I found that. So we will now going to just kind of hook this back. And let me see, turn that around this way and try it this way. Hook that back deal in, give it a pull up. And as always, when doing that wrap, it's as tight as you can get it is what you're looking for. Pull that down there good and solid tight. Now, we're going to kind of break away from normal. Normally at this point in time, I've always told you we're going to go ahead and paint it white. So that way, when we put the colors over the top, they'll all be accurate colors later. We're going to step away from that this time around. We're going to go with your Wicked, Createx Wicked, and this is their Pearl Red. The reason I'm going to put this straight on it is I'm going to leave the belly lime. I'm not going to repaint the belly. So let me hang that up. Let me get this a little bit mixed up. See if it's going to be able to shoot this or not. It's a little bit thicker. Oh yeah, we'll get it. Alright, so now we're going to leave that belly alone. So we're just going to be, even if we're going to do it just like if there wasn't a wrap on here. We're going to come across the top. We may have to give it a little extra just for the simple fact that we're going over this lime color. So it may take us, we may have to put a light coat on and then come back, dry it, and do it again. The Wicked's a little bit thicker than the other stuff. I got a little chunk in, there we go. Alright, I got a couple little spots to clean up there. And I'm going to go ahead and dry this first, and then we're going to come back again. So hang on just a second. Got that just a little bit dried. Now let's go ahead and hit it again. And like I said, you might have to, if you're not putting the white down, sometimes you might have to give it a few more coats to get it right. But I want to leave that belly. There we go. Leave that pearl belly like that, a pearl lime. Alright. That's good. Alright. Now, let me dry this. We'll get it good and dry before we try taking that wrap off. Alright, all dried. Let's take a wrap off and see what we got, huh? Here we go. Got a nice, got that red, but really got that. And we'll see how well that shows up for you later. But I like that. I like the lime on there. I think it needs a few spots on it though, doesn't it? Maybe a little splatter. So let's put a little splatter on it to finish it up. Alright. I guess before we get our splatter to it, if we're going to make a craw out of this, we better do our craw pattern, hadn't we? Get a little ahead of ourselves. Going to go with Createx Opaque Black to do the craw pattern, to do my stencil. And I've taken the air pressure and I've taken it from 40 pounds. And we look like we're down around 12 pounds right now for here. And again, we're going to try to spray on the stencil itself and just let the bleed over on the side be what hits the lure. Yeah, I'll get about 3 of them on here maybe, huh? Alright. And there we have 3 of them. Now, as I've said before, we're going to see, we got to make sure when we put them on the other side we match them up. So what I'll do right now is I'll take where I can see each one in the back, put a little mark on the back, and now when I go around to the other side I'll be able to see where that's at. Alright, let me get the other side done. You probably won't be able to see it, but let me get the other side done, and then we'll move on. Alright, we got all the craw pattern on there, both sides. We are ready to do a little splatter this time around. I got ready now. We're going to go Createx Pearlized Magenta. I thought we'd try a little magenta for the splatter. See if that stands up a little. Again, we're just going to put some on the end of a brush and splatter. Alright, let me get the other side. I don't want to get too carried away, but we want to get it on. And we'll see. It probably isn't going to show up good for you right here and now. Maybe once we get the top coat on. But I mean, the magenta shows up here, and I think once we get the top coat on, it'll show up pretty good. Going to put a pair of eyes in. Now, a lot of times I use the red eyes. This time we're not. We're going to go with a darker eye, seeing as how we got the red lure. But let's go ahead and we'll get some eyes in, a top coat, and I'll get to show it to you when it's all said and done. Well, there we go, guys. The Red Craw pattern, lime belly. The lime on the wrap shows through pretty well too. I went in with a real dark eye. Thought that would probably look good with that red color. Hopefully, we get some ice off the lake. We'll catch some fish with it. Thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to our channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.